Hey, welcome to Recharging with Champions. I'm your host, Charlotte Harrell. And today, this week, we're doing a little bit of a different switch up, and we are really talking about finding your brand voice. So, our first episode, we talked about just finding the words, the descriptors that people would say about you that makes you stand out and be different from everybody else that's doing the same thing that you're doing, right? We all kind of do the same thing. Some of us might do it better than others, but the bottom line is we do the same thing. But there's something unique about your voice that you would like to hear. So hopefully you've done your homework and you found a couple of things that were true to you that you were like, oh, yeah, that resonates. And it may have even connected with one of your core values, right? Today, we're going to take that one step deeper. So I'm going to give you my story and let you see how I worked through this. But the bottom line is we're going to take that word, that descriptor, and we're going to do some soul searching. We need to figure out what story in our life made that something that we do. Give you an example. One thing that people say over and over again, whether it be in my management style or in how I do mortgages, is I like to have fun. So I make something fun. If we have to do something that's not typically fun, like uploading documents, I'm going to try to make this as fun as possible. It's just one of my things. It is also a core value of mine, so it resonates very well. When I was doing this practice and really trying to figure out what my brand voice was, I had to take that a little bit further and I had to look at why. Why is fun something that is so important to me? Why is it one of my core values? And why is it something that I want my clients and my coworkers and my team to feel? And I had to step back and find. And it came all the way back. So we're talking serious soul searching here because the story goes all the way back to when I was a kiddo. So I'm the oldest of three children. I was the oldest in my group of cousins. And I grew up in a family that we didn't have television in our house, really, definitely not cable. And we didn't have any Nintendos or, I'm aging myself here, but video games, anything like that until I was well into my late teenage years. So I grew up being the oldest and it was my job to kind of make the fun. So I would make up crazy things that we would do to have fun, from pretend school to just all of the things, dance routines, you name it. But I was the oldest and I was in charge of bringing fun because otherwise we were going to just be stuck being bored all the time. I brought the fun for my siblings, but also for my cousins when they would come over and my friends. I was the oldest and I was the ringleader, and it was my job to entertain and make something fun. So that is how I figured out that my core value is actually tied to something that I started at a very young age. Another person that I was talking to when we were working through this, she said that when she was young, she was in a military family, and so she had to move over and over and over again. So lots of moves. And she said that making someone get into their home and make it feel like a home was really important to them, not just getting them into a house, but really giving them that sense of home was important. And she said, I was thinking about it, and the reason that sense of home was so important for her to pass on to her clients was because she had to learn how to make that sense of home. She would have a bedroom that she would set up exactly the same way every single time she moved and give it those things that made it feel like home everywhere she moved. So that was something that was impressed on her at a very early age and then flowed through. And now her clients love working with her because they never felt like a commodity. They always felt like she was trying to get them into a place of peace and home and love. And that went all the way back to her childhood. So this is your homework now. You are going to take a couple of those favorite words that you figured out were really your resonating voice, your brand, what makes you different. And I want you to go back and think, what is it? What was it in your past? And it could be a good or a bad thing, but what was it that made that be important to you, made that something that you emphasize? It might be that you went through a situation where you were on the other side of it and it was horrible. And you were like, I will never do that. This is important. I will make sure I do this. Whatever that story is, you need to hone it because you are going to use that as part of your brand voice. People want to hear your story, what it is that ties you to that important word so that it really is meaningful. For example, I would say when you work with me, I make mortgage fun. When you are on my team, I make our job fun. That is my top priority. And I take it very seriously because I've been doing it literally since I was a wee little kid, the oldest sibling who didn't even have television in my house, who was in charge of bringing the fun. I've been doing it all of my life. So it's something that I very much am passionate about. So when you come and work with me on a mortgage or on my team, know that you're going to experience fun and stuff that might not feel so fun. That's just the way it is. You see how I tied my story into my why, and then I can express that in my brand so that when people hear what you do and why you do it, it's more of just I like to get loans done fast and I communicate well. It's, I like to do this because of this. And it's a much more meaningful conversation. That's your homework. You've got your words. Now go figure it out. Take a little bit and figure out why are you that way? Psychology today. That's what we're getting into. All right, we'll see you next time for our third step in creating your brand voice. Bye-bye.